Hey, less lethal people. So I've been thinking about putting together this video for a while. I did a video a while ago. I took it down, but I kind of want to go into a little bit more depth about it. And the video that I'm going to do tonight is a little bit of a training video, and it can be applied to less lethal. I guess it could be applied to lethal. It can be applied to the Umarex line, the Byrna line, possibly the TCP. That might be a little more difficult to engage. But basically, I want to talk to you about our less lethals and being up close to somebody. So I have the body opponent bag, I call him Bob, body opponent bag over here. And this is a great training tool if you want to practice. So there's a couple of things that I want to go over. First off, I'm gonna take off my shirt there just so that you can see. Basically, I am here with my Umarex HDP 50 modified. Now, before I start this, what I really would like to show you is I'm going to take out the good cartridge, the good CO2 cartridge, and I'm going to replace it with a used one, a punctured one. Now, the reason I'm going to do that is because I don't want to engage for training purposes this one. Now, I always keep a dummy CO2 cartridge. When I install these red power kits in here from Home Defense 24, the best way to seat those evenly is I put an old cartridge in and I crank it down as hard as I could, and it seats the thing fine. But that is not the reason why I'm doing it. The reason I'm doing it tonight is so that when I hit this, I won't engage it for training purposes. All right, so I know that first off, let's start with one thing. I do not use one of those fancy caps. To each his own, you can. But for those of you that have this, you know how heavy and hard this is. This, to me, is a skull crusher, and it's a great self-defense tool. So, I also keep, before I go any further, I always keep kinetics first, 2 kinetics. Then I put either pepper balls and then a kinetic at the end. But I always start with 2 kinetics because I don't want to be on top of somebody and actually cross-contaminate myself, especially if I'm close. I can't use a chemical round when I'm so close to somebody. So that would apply for any of these plus any marker. It could be the Byrna, it could be a FSC, a Gavel, whatever, Umarex, whatever it is. So now, this is basically for if I am up close in an uncomfortable scenario and somebody is in my zone, in my space, okay, where they can hurt me or attack me. First things first, I don't want to give a whole karate lesson and everything, but I will show you a couple of things. We need to get back and distance ourselves from this person, all right? If I'm here and I have to hold this person off for whatever reason it may be, okay? And I can hold this person off while I'm drawing my launcher with my other hand. Now, it is not engaged, obviously, but this is the perfect weapon right here because I can always engage it on the person's head. I can engage it on the person's nose. Now, we all know, if you've ever been hit as a kid above any of these areas here, not only is it horribly painful, it splits open right away. You bleed like a pig. You always need stitches. As a kid, I remember I got hit over here. It wouldn't stop bleeding right on the eyebrow. So you know that's going to smash your nose. Okay, right off the bat, you have an advantage the minute you hit somebody with this thing. So that is going to definitely be one way as you're holding the person off. The next thing you have, it's not going to be comfortable. Push him away. That's it. You got him. You got your hand out. You can't engage him. 2 shots. Or it engages. And if it didn't engage on the smash, at least it's going to buy you some time to step back and engage it. And now I can take pop, 2 shots, 2 kinetic shots. Okay, I could take a kinetic shot here. I could take a kinetic shot here. We already know what a kinetic shot to the face is going to do. At this distance, you're not going to miss. You're not going to miss wherever you shoot that person, okay, with your kinetic round. And a .50 caliber, steel coated PVC ball like this, anywhere there is going to do damage, okay? It will break a bone, it could crack a skull, it's going to cause a tremendous amount of pain. So, once again, I'm here, the guy is on top of me. I'm using my non-dominant hand, maybe to hold the guy off of me, or push back, or palm heel strike, or something, which we'll go into in a minute, while my other hand just reached around and pulled out my marker. From here, if I want to get him back more to the throat, then I can strike and I can step back, pop, pop, and that'll give me the gap, the distance I will need, and I can step back further to get off some chemical rounds, all right? So that's one thing. Or, once again, I have him, I'm holding him off, whatever way, fingers to the, whatever, okay? Whatever you have to do to hold him off, just for a split second. By that time, it should be engaged. So, that's just an idea. And you don't have to, depending on the situation, okay? A shot to the sternum, shot to the ribs. This is an extension of your fist. This is, and you know, that's not gonna tickle. So that's part one, something for you guys to think of. And I really think that this is an added weapon. It is a skull crusher, and it's an opportunity to buy you time to get back, fire off a kinetic round, and then a couple of chemical rounds. This is one training method. The next thing I would like to show you, and it's important, the advantage we have. Now, this is coming from a karate and a martial arts background. If you ever watch those old movies, try to get you up here a little bit to me, where you see those little old ancient men and they toss a guy and he goes flying and all this mystic. There's nothing mystical about it. It's all science. And what it all boils down to is your center of gravity. Your center of, we call it center of gravity today. Back in the old times, the Japanese, they called it the hara, or the 1 point. It's your center of gravity. It's 2 inches below your navel, 2 inches below your belly button, okay? If I engage with somebody, in order for me to have the advantage, I need to get my center of gravity lower than their center of gravity. Okay, so if I come up to this person and I stand up really tall and my center of gravity is above his, I'm not going to have the advantage or the strength. You ever see how dogs drop, alligators drop and roll? They're dropping their center of gravity. When you play tug of war with a dog and he drops all his weight, why is it harder to do? Because he drops his center of gravity. So you got to drop your center of gravity. So one of the things I can tell you is, if I get my center of gravity lower than his, I will have the advantage. And I can walk up and I can come up to this person, okay? I got his nose right between my fingers, my hands in his eye, and I can walk him wherever I want. As long as my center of gravity is lower, I have the advantage. And I can take him wherever I want, right? From there, step behind him and take him down if I had to. So that is going to also bring me to my next thing. I see a lot of people, I talked to somebody the other day, and it drove me nuts. He's actually a trained security guy. He was pushing somebody off of him, and he pushed with his heel like this. And first of all, when you do that and you're standing up, you're pushing yourself back. Your center of gravity is off. If that guy is heavier than you, or that guy has some sort of training, you're going to go flying back. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is, and I want to show you my leg here. So this is my leg. Up and out is the kick, okay? This is a chamber. So your leg works the same as your marker, gun, whatever. This is the chamber. Wherever my chamber is pointed, that's where the kick goes. Wherever my chamber is pointed, that's where the projectile goes. Now, what I want to do is when I want this person to get away from me, and now I may have to draw my thing, I want this person away, or I don't want to touch him with my hands, I want to keep him at bay. I want my chamber, my foot to come up. Good exercise you could do with this is pick a little dot on the wall and stare at it and hold yourself there for a few seconds, okay? And build up a little strength. And I'm gonna do it slow. I wanna kick him with the ball of my foot right under his center of gravity, right under the belly button. Whack, right there. I wanna get it right in there. And back. If my kick comes out at 10 miles an hour, I want to come back at 20 miles an hour. Faster, pulling back. And now, from there, after my kick, I'm going to turn you around a little. After my kick, and I come back, I can step back and I can draw. That will give me the advantage. He will buckle and I can draw. And as he buckles, obviously, you know where I can place those shots. So that is just a quick little training thing that you guys can do on your own at home. If you don't have something like this, you can make some sort of a toe. You don't have to kick it full force. You can make it out of wood or whatever and go through the motions. Go through the motions. But like I said, if you're in close, you don't want to chemical yourself and get that secondary exposure. This is an extension of your fist. Same thing, if somebody grabs you and they're holding on to you, well, now their hand is occupied, right? I wish I had another person here with me I could do this. But smashing this down on the opponent's hand will definitely break their hand and probably engage your marker, and then you can let off a couple of projectiles from there. So remember, right here, want to get it out, right to the, get off of me, xiphoid process, boom, any bony area, get off of me. As hard as you could, push him back, or right in the head. Wherever it lands, it lands. If it lands on the head, if it lands in the eye, if it falls down, you know you're going to do damage to that person. Okay, they will be stunned, no doubt. And it will buy you 1 or 2 seconds, or maybe more, to get back and do what needs to be done. So, that's part of one of the training videos I would like to do. I'd like to start some more training videos where you're up close with somebody, because a lot of times you may be in a building or a store or anywhere, who knows, a mall, whatever, and you may have some great, you may be in the subway or on a bus stop or whatever, and you may have somebody come up to you and accost you and do horrible things to you. And this is something that even if you're not a big, strong guy, maybe you're a smaller frame person or a woman, this will help you no matter where you hit them. And I'll tell you, even if you're not good with the punch or you don't want to hurt your hand, even an uppercut, right, with this thing, okay, it will work. Or it will work. So there's just some ideas to save yourself. And then of course, if you have to take your 2 shots, get the hell out of there. Get out. That is our goal. Our goal is not to sit there and duke this out. Our goal is to incapacitate the person, stop them, and get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there before something worse happens. The longer you're engaged, the more in jeopardy you are. So just something for you guys to think about, and hopefully we'll have some more training videos in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed it.